What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over more than 30 games still coming out in 2025 that I'm excited for. Now, these range from games that are day one gets to Game Pass to Black Friday sales potentially. A lot of games still to come in 2025. So we're going to kind of go in order of release, and I'm just going to kind of hit you with all of the games that don't have release dates, but I imagine are still coming out in 2025. Of course, with all lists like this, you know, The Wolf Among Us 2 can never be counted because God only knows when we're going to get that game. All right, we're going to go with some games that I believe actually at the time of this video have already come out, so we'll kind of rapid fire them. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, Patapon 1 and 2 Replay, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Those are the 4 in July that I wanted to throw in this video. Now, again, the first 2 have probably already come out by the time you guys are watching it. Big Tony Hawk fan when I was a kid, and I love those games. I remember going to my cousin's house, and he had it, and just watching and then actually playing it. Was never good at it myself, could never actually get the tricks to land, and also was not really a skateboarder by trade, but I did have a skateboard when I was a young little boy. So I'm very excited for these games, 1 and 2. I think they did such a good job, so very excited to play 3 and 4. And then Patapon, I mean, my dear God, it's really cool that PlayStation is doing this licensing out to some of their more obscure titles. You know, this is something that I want to see. I always talk about the Sly and Infamous and Resistance, kind of that next tier up. But, you know, you got games like Patapon, and I would throw Puppeteer, if you guys remember that game, kind of mid PS3 era game. If we got some of those, and we've gotten a couple already that they've licensed out, and they've said, hey, you want to do some remaster of it? Go knock yourself out. And so Patapon is definitely one. I've played them originally. Really, really good games. Greg Miller, I think famously of IGN, really liked these games as well. So I'm very pumped for it. I wish it had a physical version in the US. I think it only does in the UK, which is pretty annoying, but whatever, I'll still get it. As for Donkey Kong, you know, I've made 1 or 2 videos on this game so far, and it's a game that's catching my attention. The game looks really good with that destruction, right? That's the main thing that stands out to me. It's just kind of this playground of going around, and, you know, you got your collectathon type stuff, you got your platformer and puzzle solving elements to it. You know, it's got a couple different genres, you know, mixed in, and it's also a game where you can kind of just go crazy and destroy anything that you see, you know, build these paths basically, right? So it's a game that's catching on with me. I've said before, like, I don't know if I would get it right away or kind of wait on it, but it's definitely one that I'm looking at much more closely now than I did before, and I'm way more excited for it now than I was in the past. And then Ninja Gaiden, to me, that's the big game of July, okay? I mean, to other people it might not be, but this game looks so absolutely amazing. Like, it just, you know, I'm a fan of side-scrollers. We've gotten so many side-scrollers. Even more recently, they've kind of made somewhat of a comeback. You know, you could argue they never really went away, and there was always developers keeping it around. But man, I think it's going to work really, really well. I've watched a lot of different previews and gameplay clips, and I think this is going to be just a really, really fun game and kind of an appetizer, because I think I'm more excited for Ninja Gaiden 4, but this game, you know, being different than Ninja Gaiden 4, I'm very, very ready for it. Okay, let me just kind of rifle through the August ones, and then we'll talk a little bit more about them. So I got Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles 2, Mafia, The Old Country, Sword of the Sea, Dying Light the Beast, Gears of War Reloaded, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, and Lost Soul Aside. August is packed. You know, this is really, I think, where it starts to turn. July is a little empty, and then August just hits you with a game every 5 days. So a little bit more time on each one, like Demon Slayer 2. Demon Slayer 1 is a fine game, and when I'm recording this, I'm probably actually going to be playing the first game, replaying it in another week or two. I remember enjoying it, but I played that game a couple days, and I bought it day one, and I bought it full price. And I played that game maybe 2, 3, 4 days, and I was done with it. So I look back at it, and I say, did I really get my money's worth? It's solid. You know, it's one of these classic anime, you know, fighter games, and I think we can do more with it than what we're doing with it, by the way. But this game looks like it's, you know, a bigger version of it. I think it's a better arc. Like, you were kind of constrained with, like, the earlier stuff because it's the origin, right, in the first game. So you have some more entertaining arcs that you're doing in this one. A bigger cast. I think it's almost double the characters without even, like, the reskin type versions. It's almost double the characters. It just looks overall much, much better. And if it's, like, a little bit longer, that would also kind of be nice. Very excited for it. As for Mafia, I mean, I'm actually replaying 1, 2, and 3. I'm in the middle of playing 3 when I'm recording this. I love the franchise, really do. It's always had its problems. You know, none of them have been perfect, but they've each excelled kind of at their own thing. And I don't know if they've ever really, you know, kind of crossed over, but, you know, The Old Country Country. To me, this is actually the big game. I mean, August, again, is packed, and there's actually several really nice games, I think, that are going to come out. But this is the one I'm anticipating the most, right? Good story, good characters, kind of a refined gameplay, hopefully a mix of like 1 through 3. We've already seen a little bit of the gameplay too, so I'm really excited for it. And like I said, I think it's my most anticipated of that month. Sword of the Sea, this is, to me, it's actually rather simple with this game. Journey looking type game, which I'm always for. I have Journey physically and have played that game many times. Freaking love it. And it's on PS Plus. So this is one that when I look and I say, oh, there's like 7 games coming out in 1 month, that's like hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. How am I going to afford that? Well, this game is going to be free for me. So I'm going to kind of take that and run with it. But it looks phenomenal. It's kind of a newer one. Like, I haven't really been paying attention to it as much, but the game looks like so much fun. Kind of a visual style that just immediately grabs me. And sometimes that happens, with a game. Kena Bridge of Spirits, for example, did that to me years ago. Dying Light the Beast. This one's interesting because this is one that I've always kind of had a couple steps away from. Like, I would argue this is probably, like, I think this would be the highest seller of the entire month. Like, Dying Light's a pretty big franchise. I think bigger than what the Old Country could do, stuff like that. But, for me, I was never all that interested. Like, I really loved Dying Light 1. Dying Light 2 just didn't hit me the same way. And then you have all the talk with this game where it's like, well, it was going to be a DLC. And in a way, it kind of is, for those that had whatever, the deluxe edition. But now it's its own standalone game, standalone price. And, it's big. They're calling it Dying Light 3 all of a sudden. So it's like, all right, I need to start paying attention because it looks great. It looks really good. It's like, man, I think I have to start like getting excited for this if I'm going to. So, I mean, it looks good. It really does look good. It's just kind of, I look around at the other games and I say, how in God's name, am I going to do this? So you got that game, Gears of War Reloaded, obviously returning to Gears. I'm happy that they're doing this personally. I think the game looks awesome. I never got into those betas, and I could have because I had Game Pass, but I never actually got to do it and try it out. I mean, I'm getting this for the multiplayer. I think the single player for Gears 1 is really, really good. This remaster looks really nice. I think there was a lot of debate leading into the announcement because a lot of people saw it coming where it's like, all right, well, you're kind of remastering a remaster. Like, this game has already been enhanced once, right? So you're going to kind of do it again. But for what it's worth, I think it's really good. Like, this is one of those, it almost looks like a remake. They call it a remaster, but it really looks like a remake. And those are kind of the best ones, are they not? So this one has to be it. And honestly, I'm getting this on Game Pass, and then I'm also buying it physically. I already have the pre-order locked in, getting it physically on PS5 because you kind of have to, right, when a game like this is doing it. Then you have Metal Gear Solid, like I said, Snake Eater. This is one that I think could probably be the best. Like, I think when it comes to Mafia is the one I'm most anticipating, but this game, I feel like I've said it actually a few times. I have a lot of confidence. I think I have more confidence in this remake than I did Silent Hill 2 remake, and I thought that game nailed it. So I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, it's a masterpiece of it's really similar, right, to Silent Hill 2. It's just it's a different studio doing it. And from what I have heard in the developer interviews, and I've even made videos on them separately, they seem very respectful and they seem very aware of what's happening, right? They know this is a Kojima game without Kojima. They know how crazy that is. They know how polarizing it's going to be. But I mean, everything that we've seen of it looks so freaking good. And it's the same thing as Silent Hill 2. It was a masterpiece, or it still is. You're just remaking it, right? Don't go too off course. Enhance it where you can and move on. And it very much seems like that's going to happen. So I got a lot of confidence in this one. Lost Soul Aside is kind of the opposite. Like, this is a game that I was really looking forward to. Well, actually, firstly, I didn't even know it existed. Okay, I kind of caught on towards the end of this. It's been in development like 9-10 years. I would say the last 3, I've really started to come around and say, oh, what is this game? And kind of look into the history of it. Like, I give so much respect to the developer. I want like the lone developer that kind of started. That guy is a warrior, and the game does look good. It's kind of in a weird spot because, like, we've seen stuff sprinkled throughout. But remember, this game was actually supposed to launch, I think, at the end of May. It was delayed, so now it's the end of August. And at least when I'm recording this, I think July 7th, I'll just give you the date. That's the day I'm recording this. The game has not been shown in a long time, and it comes out in a month and a half. So I wonder, like, is it going to get delayed again? That will really start to get annoying, to be honest with you. But I mean, look, in the past, it's looked great, and I think it's going to scratch that itch of kind of Final Fantasy Fantasy Versus 13 and a lot of other stuff, and I think it's going to make its mark. But at the same time, it's like, all right, well, we've seen snippets here and there, and it's looked good, but it's also been years since we've seen those snippets. Give us just one big, like, 15-minute gameplay just to make sure, like, the game, is still going to hold up in 2025. So this is one that I think the potential is so high, but is way more cloudy. Like, I could see this coming out and getting 60s on Metacritic or 80s, right? Because it's like, it might, like, actually do it, or it might really be they have some ideas, but they just could not capture it. So we'll see how that one ends up going. In terms of September, we have Hell Is Us, Borderlands 4, Trails in the Sky, the first chapter, Silent Hill F, and Final Fantasy Tactics. So this one, you could probably argue this one has the bigger games, maybe one less than August, but this one's pretty packed as well. So just again, rapid fire. Hell Is Us looks good, plays pretty good. I actually played the demo. It's that game where they're not going to tell you anything, right? This is a game that you're told stuff, you're just not like shown it. So there's no map and markers and all this stuff. You are told that, even in the demo, in the beginning of the game, hey, look for wind chimes on the trees to lead you, to where you need to go. If you're not looking for those wind chimes, good luck, right? You have to pay attention. You have to really take in the info that those characters are giving you. And the gameplay is Souls-like. So this looks like a very solid game with its own twist, and kind of a twist that's going to be, I think, make or break for some people. Some people, including even myself, sometimes can't handle it. Sometimes I need to be shown the way, from time to time. So we'll see how this game actually works as a whole product, but I feel like this one's going to hit. When it comes to Borderlands 4, I mean, it's more Borderlands, but look, I'm hoping for the rebound just like everybody else is. They're saying the right things. The previews have been really, really positive on this game. I mean, look, if nothing else, I'm looking forward to this for the gunplay. I'm looking forward to this for the co-op elements. I played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with my wife. It really gets enhanced when you play it with other people. I just replayed Borderlands 1 like a year ago and played it by myself, and it still does hold up, but you should probably play it with somebody else. So I'm excited. I am excited. I'm not, the writing at Gearbox has definitely been non-existent for not just Borderlands 3, but also that new Tales from the Borderlands, which was one of the worst things I've played in a long, long time. I'm not confident in the writing, actually, at all. But at the same time, even if the writing doesn't come through, it's a negative, it's a criticism, but at the same time, the gameplay, I think, can still carry it. And I mean, that's the primary reason that I'm looking forward to this game. It just looks fun. Trails in the Sky, I wanted to throw in here. This is definitely one that, and actually Final Fantasy is another one in the same month, that I've never played the original, so never played the first Trails from the Sky. I've been told forever, play Trails, play Tales, play, Dragon Quest, a couple of those, and I've never done it. So this is definitely one that I need to do. I've been told specifically to play this, and I'm going to, but because of just the other games around it, this to me is almost a Black Friday thing. I'll get it later, play it when there's less games out, but this game looks so freaking phenomenal. And again, this is a franchise sin that I just need to right those wrongs, right? And then you have Silent Hill F. This is probably a top 5, maybe even a top 3 for me, like most anticipated of the rest of the year. To me, the game looks incredible. I cannot wait for the writing. I cannot wait for the characters just to be in that vibe again, and to do it very differently, right? To be in Japan, and I don't know, just everything we've seen of it has really impressed me. There's been, some negativity, I think, specifically probably around the gameplay. Definitely looks different, but Silent Hill's gameplay has always been different. Now, this is still a different Silent Hill gameplay, but I'm for it. I'm honestly for it. I'm really, really pumped for this game. And like I said, I think if I had to rank these, this would probably be in like a top 3. Final Fantasy Tactics, like I said, for Trails, basically the exact same thing. Never played the original, have heard countless amazing stories about it. There's nothing more I can really add to that conversation beforehand. This is, again, Trails and these are games I'm getting. I'm for sure getting. I gotta fix those wrongs. It's just, do I have time? Even just these two games together, right? Trails is such a long game, and then Final Fantasy Tactics is such a long game. So to have both of them and then to have all of the other games, I just don't think I'd be giving them the appreciation that they deserve, right? I mean, so many people are looking forward to it. On top of that, right? I mean, specifically, I would say Final Fantasy. I think so many people have been waiting for Tactics to come back, and now that it is, like, I'm very, very happy for that community that has played it before, right? Is ready to kind of play it again. I'm jumping in for the first time, and I'm also excited. Okay, then we have October. We have Directive 8020, Ghost of Yote, Digimon Story Time Stranger, Pokemon Legends Z to A, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Ninja Gaiden 4, Outer Worlds 2, and Little Nightmares 3. This is, I think, by number, the biggest month. And that's, I guess, debating what happens with November, which we'll talk about some of the release dates that or games that don't have release dates in just a second. So, okay, rapid fire once more. Directive 8020 looks really good, sounds really good, definitely sounds like they took their time with this one, which is something you cannot say about probably any of the other, Dark Picture anthology games. In fact, they dropped that title from this game, and they've talked about why they've done it. I've made a specific video on that if you want to search that up. But the game, I like the idea, the morphing type. You don't know who to trust, right? These kind of things that can take the appearance of your crew. They've even changed the gameplay from what they've talked about in interviews. Like it very much sounds like they went back to the drawing board and said, we can't keep making these games every year. Like, it takes too much. Like, we need more time, and we're not given the time. We need to take some time, and we need to make this one a little bit different. And that's what it sounds like this one did. Now, the issue is that it comes out the same freaking day as Ghost of Yote. So not massively pleased with that one, because I have always played these Dark Picture games the day they come out. I want to give it that, because I love Supermassive. But Ghost of Yote, my dear God, this is probably top 2, we'll say, for most anticipated of the year, maybe even top 1. I'm recording this, like I said, July 7th, before the state of play. So we haven't even seen more info on this game yet, but I'm going to trust them. I'm going to trust them because really Sucker Punch has never steered me wrong, whether it's Sly Cooper, which is my favorite franchise literally of all time, to Infamous, which, took a step back with Second Son, but overall Infamous is fantastic, and then Ghost of Tsushima. I wanted another one with Jin Sakai. We did not get that. That's okay to me as long as they nail it, right? Which I really hope. Gameplay, structure, everything that we love so much about in terms of how the feel is and going into that history. That's what we all love so much, about Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I think I'll have even more to say about it, when we see the actual state of play. Digimon is such a tough one because I think this comes out the day after. So like you have Directive 8020 and Ghost of Yote on the same day, and then a day after you have Digimon, and Digimon's a $70 game. Now this game looks fantastic. I actually watched when they did the Bandai Namco presentation. They had like a freaking 5, 7, 8 minute long. Like they really went in deep to Digimon, and it looks so good. I remember playing Digimon World, back in the day. World 3, I think, which is worth like $100+. I had it. My parents did something unforgivable to that game. I don't want to speak about it, but I love Digimon, and it's one that I really want to play. And this is one that I just don't see how it fits to me, like in my schedule. It's one that I think is gonna probably be pretty good, and I want to support it, and so I will. But I'm gonna have to probably wait a month or two, get at the same time I get Trails and Final Fantasy. But it looks so good. It's just, man, that price, and then also a day after Ghost and Directive 8020. Pokemon to me is a game that I'm going to do to like buff up the Switch 2 lineup. Comes out on the Switch 1 as well. I think $10 more on the Switch 2. Looks good. To be honest with you, I mean, my plan is to play it, but then ultimately have the Switch 2 be taken by my wife or daughter, and they'll just play the entire thing. That's kind of how the last couple have worked. I'm not the most diehard Pokemon fan, but I can be a pretty big fan when the wind is just right, or whatever they say. So I don't know. I am looking forward to it. I pray to God, because of the Switch 2's extra power, that this is not going to be a broken disaster, an underperforming type game. Perform like literally how it runs, because we've seen how bad they can be, and I'm just hoping that the Switch 2 version, one of them is I think going to be terrible, right? When we play it, there's going to be clips shown of one of them just being the most dog blank thing that you could possibly imagine, and the other one probably being quite good. So I'm pretty excited for that one, if nothing more than to see that stuff. Jurassic World I want to throw on here just because I played the first 2. I played the first one, the first game, quite a bit, and really liked it. 2, I think, took some steps back, and I didn't play it as much. 3, I mean, I think we're kind of getting to like a plateau where it's like, 1 might be the best one by when all things are said and done. So this one's definitely on my list. Like, I'm looking at it, and I'm paying attention to it, and it looks good. Like, a lot of these games look good, these the sim and management type stuff, and I'm a big fan of that genre. But when you churn them out as quickly as they have been, and then specifically with what they did with 2, kind of locking stuff or hiding stuff in DLCs, which is kind of the common thing that you do with games like this, I think it's gonna get a little bit weaker. So we'll see how 3 does. Ninja Gaiden 4, besides besides, I guess, Ghost in the beginning of October, this is probably my second most anticipated October game. This one's on Game Pass, so that really helps me out because, again, if I'm buying all of these games, we're almost into the $1,000 range, which I cannot do. So some of them have to be Game Pass. And actually, let's just do Ninja Gaiden and The Outer Worlds too. So for Ninja Gaiden, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, I haven't played too many of the past games, but when they remastered 2 just earlier this year, dear God above, like, that game is so unbelievably good. I really love that game, and 4 looks also so unbelievably good. So I'm ready. I mean, I don't think there's anything else I even need to, like, Ghost I would like to see a little bit more because we actually really haven't seen almost anything. Ninja Gaiden, I mean, they showed us the one trailer and we saw with what like 2 Black looked like, and we played it, I guess, too, including myself. I played the whole thing. I think 4 is like, okay, rock solid, safe type thing. When it comes to The Outer Worlds 2, oh boy. Okay, so The Outer Worlds 1 just did not click. I'm going in on this one just kind of almost word of mouth that so many people have said good things that I have seen on the first Outer Worlds. I want to play the second game. I want to give it a chance. I also want to replay the first game and see if it does click in 2025 because it just didn't, originally. I had it day one. I got it physically. I think I traded it into Amazon or something. So I am excited for it. The $80 is an absolute no, in my opinion. So I'll be doing it through Game Pass, and that's just how that's going to work. And then Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares is more of the middle of the month, but the release date was announced after all these other games. That game looks phenomenal. I mean, I know there's like the back and forth Reanimal versus Little Nightmares, and I get it because what happened with the studios and stuff, but I think Little Nightmares 3 is probably going to hit, and I think what we've seen of it so far has looked like Little Nightmares, which you can probably say is a good thing because of the developer change and I think general worry maybe that's out there for it. I think it looks really, really good. I'm very, very excited for this game, and it's a day one buy for me. Okay, when it comes to November, I just wrote down Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. Again, I've never played a Dragon Quest. I think I played one Dragon Quest game. I don't remember what it was. It was probably somewhere around the 2017 year range. So if there was a game that came out roughly around there, chances are that's the game I've played. But again, this is a franchise that I highly respect and I want to play. Okay, so just like the other 2D remake that they did, like a year or two ago, I have that on my Amazon list to get it physically. So I want these. I want to build up this collection and I want to go through it. But can't spend too much time talking about this one. It's one that I want. I'll probably do it Black Friday or get it at a later date and play at a later date. Okay, I want to rapid fire games that don't have dates. Okay, and there's actually quite a bit of these. So Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, Crimson Desert, Chronos: The New Dawn, Dispatch, Hollow Knight Silksong, Metroid Prime 4, Mixtape, Mouse PI for Hire, Spine, SpongeBob, Battlefield, and Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Now, we can kind of start from the bottom and go back up. So Marvel Cosmic Invasion, I'm so ready. I mean, I love these, like I said earlier, these kind of side-scroller games. Not that they made Power Rangers, but I was severely let down with Power Rangers. I thought this would be the next, like, Shredder's Revenge. I know, again, different studio, but that let me down. But we're back. I think we're back, baby, with this game. So I'm very, very pumped for this. And honestly, I'm 10 times more pumped for Scott Pilgrim after this. So let's just get this game, enjoy the living heck out of it, and then get the game after it. Now, I said Battlefield and SpongeBob. So Battlefield is 50-50 to me that it even comes out this year. I feel like the plan was to release it this year, but we've heard a lot of delay rumors and kind of problems with the game. So it might come out this year. It might not. If it does, it's a day one buy. I guess so long as like we're kind of sure it's going to run well. I mean, look, like the leaked gameplay looks really good. I can't show it to you because I think that would be bad, but if you just search up any Battlefield 6, release gameplay that shouldn't be released, it really does look like a return to form. Now, the issue is, can the game just come out and run? Can it just be a very solid, functioning game at launch? You didn't get that the last time around, and if I had a do-over, I wouldn't have gotten 2042 the day it came out. So for this, if it comes out this year, it's on my list. If it comes out this year, I would get it day one, as long as, it feels like it's going to work, which I guess is still probably 50-50. And SpongeBob's supposed to come out, so I think we'll find find this out at the THQ event. I think SpongeBob and even the Gothic 1 remake is kind of slated to still release this year. I feel like one's going to slip. So again, with SpongeBob, possible it comes out November, December. Maybe it gets pushed to like a January, February type thing. I forget when Cosmic Shake came out, but I feel like that would work. So if there's a SpongeBob game that comes out, I'm getting it, right? There's really nothing else you can say about it. I guess continuing to go up, Spine. Spine's another one. I mean, they keep saying fall, but it's never gotten a date. You know, they're kind of running out of time, but hopefully it happens. Game looks phenomenal. You know, I actually got to do a exclusive interview with the director of the game. I did a whole video on that. That was a blast and kind of learned some new stuff there. So I'm really, and it's not just because of that. I've been paying attention to the game before that, and the game just looks outrageously good. Kind of, you know, gameplay of Sifu mixed with Batman, mixed with Spider-Man, and then just the aesthetic, you know, that this game has going for it. Mouse PI for Hire, another game that has been on my radar for a while. Just, again, aesthetically looks really, like, I love the arts. I love the way that they're doing it. And then honestly, like, the thing with this is all it really needs to do is nail the visuals, which it looks like 1,000% they nailed it, and then just be like a pretty functioning first-person shooter with the wackiness that you bring with it because of the art style, right? It's actually rather simple. I mean, obviously not so simple, but no, I think they're going to do it. It looks better and better every time we see it, and we just need a date. All right, then we have Mixtape. Again, no date, but hopefully November. Like, November can be, by the way, extremely packed because of all of these games. If they all come out in November, suddenly November is the busiest month of the entire year. But this game looks so good. Again, I'm gravitated to kind of visuals. I mean, that's the first thing you see is the visuals, so that really grabs me. The music, the reliance too, like how important the music's going to be. I said before, like Smashing Pumpkins are my favorite band. They're on the track list. Seem to be pretty prominent, by the way, so that's exciting. Just cannot wait. And again, a Game Pass game, so finally some levity from all of these games that are going to suck my money dry. Again, a game that I'm really, really excited for and have been since last June. Metroid is one that, again, like that's going in my Switch 2 library the second it gets the date. There's really nothing more to say about it. Metroid is, I think, a great game franchise. We've been waiting for this game for a very, very long time. I like Metroid, and this one's an easier one than Pokemon. And this one, actually, I would play, right? I don't think my wife or daughter is going to steal the Switch 2 to play Metroid, but I will, right? I'll play it quite a bit. Then we have Hollow Knight Silksong. I mean, okay, let's make this 5 seconds long, right? Hollow Knight, great game. It's been literally forever. It's finally coming out. You gotta get it, okay? And I'm gonna get it. And actually, again, if you want the Game Pass relief, you got the Game Pass relief. Dispatch, from the makers of some of the better Telltale games. Some of the makers, right? Not all of them, but I do think this game can capture it. And while we wait forever for The Wolf Among Us 2, and I do mean for all of eternity, at least we have this. There's a demo of this game. I think the demo is actually rather good. I just think, you know, kind of spin on what we already have done with these games, right? You got your choices. You got, you know, being able to pick your own adventure, cool characters, cool story. You know, you hope those things are there. The heart, the comedy, all that jazz. But then also the gameplay is literally dispatching these heroes, wannabe heroes, or reformed heroes, let's say, right, to go into battle and handle certain tasks. So super, super cool idea from the gameplay department, which is normally lacking with these games, right? So this is one that I feel, again, is going to go under a lot of people's radar until it's ultimately very, very good. Chronos: The New Dawn, another one. One that I, you know, from what we've seen so far, looks very good. I think we need to see a little bit more, but hoping for that 2 in a row, you know, from Bloober Team. I think they're going to do it, to be honest with you. That don't let them merge idea of this game is really cool. Kind of paying attention, right, to, like, do you want to take the enemy out? Because you might actually make it worse for yourself, you know, if you take that enemy out. You know, you give me that Dead Space vibe. You give me their take on this gameplay gimmick that they're doing, right? And I think we're in for a pretty good treat. If they can do these and do it twice in a row, 2 years in a row, that would be really, really cool. Crimson Desert is probably also a top 2, top 3 game most anticipated for the year. I think such potential, such immense potential. And I don't even want to say, like, well, we just need to see more. Not really. We have seen so much of this game. So many people have got to play it. We've gotten so many previews over the last, like, 3 years. And we just need the date. We just need, okay, it's coming out end of November, which I think is when it's going to happen. And just open it up and let us try it out. I think ultimately this game is going to be a pretty solid game. Like, it might get 7s and 8s. But again, I think the potential is insanely high where this game can be a Game of the Year contender if all things kind of go right for it, right? And then Call of Duty, I'm not a big COD guy. I was, but not anymore. Not for like the last 12 or so years. I played last year's one, thought it was solid, cool. Again, got it through Game Pass. Like, there's not too much I can say about it. I threw it on here because, hey, if it's on Game Pass, which I think it is, I will probably check it out, right? Functionally solid game. I've always had fun with them. Honestly, like the campaigns have always been, the ones I've played, always been really good or at least serviceable. And then multiplayer is also fun. I'm always better than I think I am at Call of Duty's. I'm not amazing, but I always think I'm complete garbage. And I think I do pretty good at COD's multiplayer. So, as excited as I can be for it, which is really, to be honest with you, not all that excited, but it's on the list. All right, there's mine. You let me know yours in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.